it's an advantage because when you have nothing, you want to get out so fucking bad.
Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest motivators for me when I was broke is I needed to get out. Because you get treated like shit when you're broke.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Wealth podcast, first official podcast with the name change. Today we have Rene Lacad here. He has started multiple businesses. He has created multiple viral videos on YouTube, done over 30 million in revenue. And I mean, you're gonna hear all about it. 35 million. I must have watched a video that was a few months old when doing my homework. But dude, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro. I love the conversation. Before we even started rolling, the conversation was great. So I feel like it's gonna be a good episode. I'm happy to be on the first Beyond the Wealth.
Beyond the Wealth. And I'm happy to be your first official podcast of 2024,
yep.
Which is awesome. 2024, new year,
Yes,
really excited. New year, new me, you know? That's why I renamed the podcast. But dude, I actually, we were talking before, and I love the conversations beforehand because it's hard to jump into a one-on-one conversation with somebody you met 10 minutes before the cameras get rolling. But I think I learned a ton about you even in those 15, 20 minutes and then the homework I did. But I like to do my episodes chronologically. So start with kind of your early life.
Before we do that, I'm just out of curiosity, how did you find me?
How did I find you?
Yeah.
So actually, I saw an ad of yours maybe 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't do anything in Shopify or anything in e-com.
Nice.
But I recognized you. Like I think you just have a very recognizable, like,
It's good.
kind of persona to you. So I recognized you. Then fast forward to this year, I saw you tweet about the penthouse.
Yeah.
And I clicked it and I looked and I clicked on the picture and I was like, wait, I recognize that face.
Yeah.
Went through, it was you. And I was like, man, I actually watched some of your videos when I saw your ad because I was like,
Curious.
I'm always a curious guy. I love to learn about people. So when I saw that you were in Miami, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for new guests.
Nice.
Like, let's make it happen.
Nice.
You were nice enough to quickly say yes. We got this thing scheduled. So that's how I found you.
Love it, bro. Love it. Cool. Sorry. So back to your question.
No, yeah. And like I said, I like to kind of move in chronological order. I know you had a tougher upbringing, no dad in your life, LA. Your first kind of jump into entrepreneurship was selling stuffed animals door to door.
He did. He went deep.
Let's hear a little bit about that.
He went deep in the homework. Yeah, man. So growing up in LA, we were broke. So I think being broke is an advantage. I tell a lot of people when you're broke, it's actually better as far as like motivation. You have to look at it as a competitive edge because people that are rich, that have a lot of money growing up, they tend to lose the motivation. They don't realize that they take everything for granted. They don't realize like all of this is a privilege to have, you know? So for me, I was broke as a kid. My mom didn't give me any money. She didn't give us any stuff. She would barely give us like nice things. So we never really had the opportunity to buy shoes. Kids in my neighborhood would have bicycles. I didn't have a bicycle. So I was like, man, how the fuck do I get a bicycle? Can I curse on this, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was like, how the fuck do I get a bicycle? I started thinking of ways to make money, right? And when you're a kid, you don't really know anything about business. But I think inertly, when you're broke, you're a hustler. So you have that in you to figure it out. So we went to the mall one day. We were just hanging out like kids do. They go to the mall when they're bored. And we saw a stuffed animal machine. It was one of those giant ones that give you the big bears.
Yeah.
We saw that machine. We had a friend. He was smaller. His name was Daniel. He was like 2 years younger than us. And he was smaller. I'm like, bro, you could fit in there. And this guy was like, no, I can't. There's no way. And I was like, you could fit in there. So then we went over to the claw machine. I opened up the thing. And then like he squeezed into the thing. And this dude fit in this giant claw machine. I was like, bro, take as many as you can. Fuck it. Right? In retrospect, this is stealing. So don't do this. But I was like probably 10, 11. So this kid jumps in the claw machine, starts stealing all these stuffed animals. We leave with like 6 or 7 of them. And we have these stuffed animals. And now we're like, yo, what can we do with this? Let's sell them. So we started knocking door to door, just in my neighborhood. And we would tell people, this is in the summer. Summer is bad because that's when you're up to no good.
Yeah.
So we would knock door to door during the summer, like, well, we really want to buy a pool. We're saving some money. We're selling these stuffed animals. Do you want to buy this? And we would sell them to people for like different amounts. So we would go like $40. And naturally people were like, oh, that's a lot. So we'd be like, oh, how about this 20? We just really want to get this pool. They didn't realize we got them for free. And they'd be like, some would say yes to 20, some would say no. the people that said no to 20 were like, we'll give it to you for 10. We bought it for $10, but we're just gonna give it to you for 10 just because we don't want to walk home with it. It's hot. And we're kids, so now the people are like, oh, I'm an asshole if I don't buy this stuffed animal from this kid and make him walk in the sun with this big stuffed animal. So yeah, they would say yes, we'd get rid of them. And me, I was like, cool, we made, I think the first batch, the 7 we had, we made like $100. I'm like, oh, this is some money now. But again, it was me, my little brother, and then Daniel wanted his cut. He had a bike already, but me and my brother didn't have bikes. So we're like, okay, let's go back. Let's make another run. This time we came back to the mall to do the stuffed animal thing, and we got like 15, 20 of them, and we just did the same thing again. And yeah, we ended up clearing like, I don't know, $200, $300, and me and my brother got bikes. Daniel got his little cut, you know, and yeah, that was the first kind of go at entrepreneurship.
What did it feel like that first taste of money? Like,
I mean,
somebody paying you for something you gave them.
So it's weird because it was dirty money, and I knew it at the time. So I'm not one of those kids that had like no idea of what was going on. I knew exactly what it was. I'm like, this is dirty. If I told my mom what I did, like I hid it from my mom because I was like, there's no way if I show her this money and I tell her what I did, I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm fucked. So I was like, it was dirty and it felt wrong. That's why we never did it again. Because I was like, man, I got some money out of that, but I knew instantly, like in my heart of hearts, this was not good. This was not a good way to make money. So we kind of stopped, but it did feel good. I was kind of like, man, I got a bike now. I was like, I felt good about myself. It was different.
Hell yeah. And it's funny because 2 things that you mentioned there. One about the tougher upbringing.
Yeah.
I would say 9.9 out of 10 people that have come on the show all had tough upbringings and can attribute a lot of that to the success.
Cap.
Well, hopefully not Cap. Hopefully most of them actually had tough upbringings. But
yeah, I think when I look at tough upbringings, everyone wants to say tough upbringing now. Like that's trendy.
Yeah.
That's trendy. And for me, unless you can show your tough upbringing, it never happened. I have friends that'll show it. I'm like, oh wow, this is a tough upbringing. But a lot of people, they always want to do the juxtaposition. They want to show, hey, here's how far I've come. Instead of, we were talking about it earlier, social media is a lot of like disingenuity. Like, I don't know if it's a word, I'm gonna keep saying it.
Yeah.
People will fake what it is. So for me, a great example, I have tweets. Twitter's always been like kind of my journal. And I have tweets from 2014 saying, hey, does anyone know where I can get food for cheap? I can't afford food right now, I'm balling on a budget, you know? So there's proof of me not being able to afford food at some point. I tweeted this in 2014.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people will like to say, oh, I came from a tough upbringing. And the people that did, they know that like doesn't apply to them. But the ones that didn't and they're faking it, if the shoe fits. So I don't know. I'm big on the fact that like, hey, just own your own story because that's what makes you you.
Yeah.
You know? But as far as tough upbringings, I think it's an advantage because when you have nothing, you want to get out so fucking bad.
Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest motivators for me when I was broke is I needed to get out. Because you get treated like shit when you're broke. Maybe not as a girl, because girls, and I hate to be the red pill guy, but like girls have a much nicer life. I remember I was 20 years old, and all of the girls from my hometown, they were posting pictures in clubs, a bottle service with Lambos, and I'm a 20-year-old kid that's broke. I'm like, fuck, bro. Life is so unfair. How did they get that? And like, I'm stuck here by myself. People don't text me back. No one says what's up to me. You're like invisible to the world as a man, you know? So I hate to go red pill, but we're gonna go red pill for a little bit. As a man, I feel like you're invisible when you're broke, you know? So when you're broke, you have a tough upbringing, life sucks. There's nothing you can really do except for hustle.
Yep.
Get out of there, change your situation. And I can tell you this from experience, because the richer I got, the lazier I got as well. Because now I'm like, I wake up, I'm like, go like this on my little balcony, look at the world. I'm like, what a beautiful life. I have no motivation to work. I'm like, let me stay in bed a little longer. Before 6 a.m., I'm up. What can I do today to make money? Now it's like, let me get out of my silk pajamas and figure out what to do for the day. Oh, I have a call. Should I do it? Should I not? The more money you have and the more privilege you have, the less motivation you have. Because why would I want to work? You know, there's nothing that's driving me. There's nothing that's pushing me. It's like telling someone, hey, you will die tomorrow if you don't make $1,000. You know what? Most people are going to go and find a way to make $1,000.
They're going to make that 1,000.
Yeah, but people that hey, there's no repercussions to you not working, they're not going to work.
Yeah, I saw you're not a big morning routine guy.
Yeah.
Waking up at 6 a.m., cold
I fucking
plunge,
love the research.
sauna.
Yeah.
You're not a big guy, but you do prioritize writing down your goals the night before.
So I get the morning routines. I'm against it for myself personally
Yeah.
because I know how I work. I, I'm against the morning routines because there's no correlation between the morning routine and actually making money. Great example. I wake up every morning, I meditate for 6 hours, and then I take a cold shower, and then I do a sauna for 7 hours, and then I do a cold plunge before I go to bed, and then I read 100 pages. It's like, congratulations, you have used all of your willpower on meaningless, zero ROI things. And I understand why they do it. It's because, like, you take a cold shower, you build more willpower. You go to the gym, you build more willpower. You do a cold plunge, you build more willpower, right? You might feel better as well. But at the end of the day, those don't directly correlate to wealth. So telling someone they need to do that if they want to be rich, it's cap, bro. You're telling people the wrong things. I tell people, hey, I want to be rich. What should my routine be? I mean, I tell people you just need to work and you need to find one thing and stick with it. It's more about focus than it is about meditate, read 100 pages, do this, do that. Like, all this stuff is zero ROI in the grand scheme of things. Now, is it okay if you have it in your routine? 100%. But is that what's going to make you rich? No. So that's my biggest, like, why I don't like it, because it's people are selling that as the way to get rich, when in reality, there's no correlation. All it does is build your willpower you need in order to focus. But if you could focus without that stuff, why are you going to waste your energy on that?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people now have this analysis paralysis type of situation where they feel like if I do all of these things and I'm very disciplined, like I will be successful, but they're actually not doing any of the things that make them successful. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a successful business and then you start to become very disciplined, have a routine, and that is enhancing your ability to grow that business, then that's great. But if you're working at AutoZone, no offense to anybody working at AutoZone, if you're working at AutoZone and you cold plunge and sauna and all of this, and your end goal is just to continue your life at AutoZone, but you think that cold plunge is going to be like what's going to get you out of the trenches.
Exactly,
That's
bro.
not the case.
Facts.
Where, like, cold plunges, again, I mean, the people who sell cold plunges love it, but cold plunges just immediately got associated with being successful.
Right.
Like, you can't succeed in life if you don't get in a cold tub of water in the morning before you start your day. That's what Instagram and that's what Twitter and TikTok will tell you, which is just, I mean,
It's BS.
it's BS.
It's BS.
It's great. Like, there's value in it and it's health and you can be more healthy, but people associate these health-related things with business ROI, which is,
100%.
I can see why you're like, if it works for you, great, but like, actually focus on the business part of things.
There's another thing I get a lot of flack for on the internet. I talk about, I hate this, like, narrative of, you want to get rich? Stop spending $5 on Starbucks every morning. Stop. You see it a lot. People are like, yo, stop spending $5 every day on coffee if you want to get rich. It's like, no, fuck that. Learn how to make more money. At the end of the day, wealth is an offense game. It's not a defense game.
Yep.
Because most people play defense. They get a job and they save their entire life, right? But if your job is paying you 50 grand a year, no, even more, let's say 80 grand a year, right? Because that was my mom's plan for me. She wanted me to go to college, become an engineer, make 80 to 100 grand a year. That was her idea of success when I was a kid. Now I think about it, I'm like, bro, I needed to make $500,000 just to fucking qualify for this place. So, one, I would never have been able to stay in a place like this. Two, I never would have made $1 million as fast as I did because I'm playing defense. I'm making 80 to 100 grand a year, which is great. 6 figures is, right? People say that's American dream.
Yeah.
But literally, it would take me 20 years of my life, considering that I stayed with my mom, considering that I saved all my money, considering that I found a way to avoid a lot of taxes, especially in California. Had I gone with her game plan of playing defense my entire life and saving all of my money, I would have still become a millionaire. I would have been 45, 46 years old, if I'm lucky, right? And very, very seldom do you have people, because people say, oh, 45, 46 is not bad to become a millionaire. But very seldom do you have people that have the willpower to live like that for 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I can promise you, the second you make 100 grand and you're deprived of anything nice, the first thing you do is, I'm gonna go buy a Beamer. I wanna reap the rewards of my 100 grand. Oh, I'm gonna go on vacation, right? Very seldom do you have someone that's gonna put their head down for 27 years straight. especially at a job.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate this advice of like, save $5 on coffee every day. Even if you saved $5 in coffee every day, right? I'm gonna put it in perspective for you guys. You save $5 a day on coffee every single day. You invest it in the markets every single day, right? So after a year, that's $1,500. After 10 years, you still have less than, $30,000. I'm sorry, you have around $30,000. So 10 years, that coffee, people are like, oh, the cup of coffee a day is costing you 30 grand. Yeah, over the time span of 10 years, right? Money is not the resource that you should worry about. It's time. Time is the number one resource because ultimately money is just compressed time, or time is just compressed money.
Yep.
You know? So if I would much rather spend, like, I rarely cook. My wife cooks sometimes because she enjoys it. But like, if I had to choose, I'm not cooking at all. I'm paying someone to cook for me. I'm ordering. Like, it's not worth my time. If I could sit at a computer and make $2 grand in an hour, why would I ever do anything else that doesn't pay me that?
Yeah.
You know, so you have to think about it like that. When you think about money, you have to think about it from a time perspective.
Yeah, and I like the money is an offense game, not a defense game.
It's an offensive game.
And I just did the math here in my head. Let's say you bought 5 cups of coffee at $5 a day. You would spend maybe $1,200 to $1,300 a year on Starbucks coffee.
After 10 years, let's say 10 years, it's $15,000. Even invested, it doubles every 7 years. So like I said, you're looking at about, after 10 years, if you invested that $5 instead of getting coffee, you're sitting at $30,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I could make that in a week.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're gonna, like, I'm that guy. I love Starbucks. Like, I love going and buying my coffee.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I talked to my brother about this because my brother's a cheapo. Like, and like, I love that about him. He doesn't like to spend money. He likes his homemade coffee, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, if the coffee makes me happy, like if I wake up and I want Starbucks and going to get that drink is gonna make me feel good about starting my day, I'm gonna go spend the $5, $6 because people are like, oh, well, you're wasting $1,500 on Starbucks a year. Dude, just go make an extra $2 grand.
Literally.
Just go make an extra $2,000. It's obsolete. And like, luckily I'm in an industry like sales. I can go make a sale that day 100%. And make $2 grand and the whole year's coffee is obsolete. Exactly. But people think like, oh shit, if I keep going to Starbucks, I'm gonna be broke. Mm-hmm. And it's just like so wrong, like just on so many levels. 100%. And I find it interesting. And we just went on this complete riff here. Yeah. But it's true, like it's an offense game, not a defense game. Instead of trying to save the extra $5 grand, go make an extra $5 grand. It's easier.
Mm-hmm. And I think what happens when you start putting your mindset in offense mode, you will slowly start to increase that number. So in the beginning, you're like, okay, I just need to make an extra $5 a day if I want my coffee, right? Instead of saving that $5, because when you save, what happens is you put yourself in a shell. You're never trying to make more money. You're just focused on stacking your money up. The second that you go into offense mode, you increase that number slowly. So first, okay, I need to find how to make an extra $5 a day. But then that bar goes up to like, oh, if I order food, I just need to learn how to make an extra $100 a day. Then it becomes, oh, I need to learn how to make an extra $1,000 a day. Oh, if I want, let's say I want this penthouse, I need to learn how to make an extra $3,000 a day. And the second that you go on offense, you start to look at goals a lot bigger, right? One of my big goals, I don't care for cars. I'm not a materialistic guy. I have some jewelry. I think this penthouse is the only nice thing I have. The most expensive thing I've bought other than this is my wife's wedding ring. But the one thing I want for myself is a jet. That's the one thing I want. Because I could have like people like, oh, what do you drive? I'm like, oh, Toyota Camry. And they're like, ha, loser. I'm like, well, yeah. Where's your jet? Because my jet's parked right there. I take my Camry to the private airport to take my jet to wherever I want. So that's the one thing I want for myself. And I do the math in my head. I'm like, okay, a jet that can take me across Europe, you're looking at like $10, $15 million, right? If you want to be able to afford something like that, I have to make at least $50 to $100 million. Then you start to break it down like granularly. $50 to $100 million, it breaks down to like 100 grand a day, right? Give or take 150 grand a day. So now the goal, for me, it's like, okay, how do I get to 150 grand a day? You know, that's like what I look at. Because the second I hit that, I'm like, all right, cool, the jet's so much closer now. That's offense in action, right? And the levels change. It goes from how do I make, because I've been broke. Like I said, you could look up all my old tweets. You scroll all the way down. You'll see me saying, yo, where do I get food, right? I can't even afford fucking food. And then sure enough, 5, 6, 7 years later, technically 9, damn, I'm old. 9 years later, I'm like, how do I make 150 grand a day? Your mindset shifts when you go into offense mode because you're like, cool, how do I make an extra 10, 20? Now it's how do I make 150 grand a day, right? And that bar is set there.
The younger Rene that would write their goals specifically on Post-its, very detailed, is probably very happy.
This would be creepy if it wasn't a podcast.
Yeah,
this
right?
is fire, yeah.
That version, that younger self of you would be very proud knowing now that it's transitioned from moving out and making money to how much do I need to make to buy a jet?
That's literally one of my biggest goals. But it's so funny you say that. I remember that. I used to write all my goals on the wall. I think that's a big, like one thing I'm very, very big on is writing your goals. That's one thing where like, fuck a cold plunge, fuck this, fuck that. Write a goal down. Something attainable. Don't put like, one thing I hate when you're completely broke, and I can't fault them for this because I get it, but like putting jets on vision boards when you're completely broke.
Yeah.
You're so far from that you're going to quit before you even find it attainable. You know, it's not going to fall in your lap. Whereas I love when people put like, oh, I'm going to put BMW M4 on my vision board. It's a cool car, but it's super attainable, super easy. People can do it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I'm big on setting goals because I love the idea of setting goals. And all the goals that I put on my list, those are all checked off. Those are all done. So we finished those years ago. But yeah, man, it's crazy to think about.
You kind of made your way through odd job here and there, bouncing around, still not really finding your calling. You end up starting to work with Tai Lopez.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
So funny enough, I'm going to quote Tai Lopez here. Tai Lopez is like a quote master, but I'm going to quote him myself. He's big on learning by osmosis. So, and it's magical, this what it is. And essentially all he's saying is your proximity is how fast you learn. And it's almost like magic how it works. If you're around a bunch of rich people, you become rich because you see the mannerisms, you see the habits, and it's almost like you're getting programmed in a good way, you know? So growing up broke, I was always around broke, poverty mindset people. Everyone, it was always like, fuck other people, I'm gonna find out how to make money for myself. My mom didn't tip people growing up. She was like, no, we have to hoard all of our money. My mom had a very defensive mindset when it came to money. She had a very scarcity mindset when it came to money. And you're being programmed, keep in mind, I'm a kid, so she's programming me with this my entire life.
Yep.
And I'm thinking this is normal. I'm thinking, you know what, I gotta save as much as I can because I'm gonna lose it all, right? So the second you get around some rich people, you start to look at the way they view the world and how your thinking is wrong. Because think about it. I look at my mom, I look at Tai Lopez. My mom saves all her money. She barely tips people. She's very frugal, doesn't want to spend anything, and she's broke. Then I see Tai Lopez. He's blowing 100 grand a month on his house. He's blowing 50 grand a month on his cars. He's going to the club spending $20,000. I'm like, you don't get scared that you're ever going to run out of money? Right? And all he's doing, he's playing this offensive game. Why am I going to worry about running out of money when I can just make more money? Because at some point, all expenses are inconsequential, right? Everyone has a different number, but the second you make $1 million, anything $100 doesn't faze you anymore.
Yeah.
Second you make $10 million, anything close to $1,000 doesn't faze you anymore. You don't even look at it. You don't worry about it. And it's hard to get that through people's mind, especially when they're in that like poverty mindset. So with my mom, even to this day, she's seen all this and she's kind of like, stop spending so much money. I'm like, Mom, trust me, you're okay. You're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But when you're around successful, rich people, you start to see how they think and you start to emulate it and you start to pick up on some of that. Because not only do you see, like, let's say you're around LeBron James 24/7. Dude's in the gym, always working out. And now you start to attribute that. You're like, oh, that's why he's successful.
Yeah.
Let me start doing that and maybe I'll get somewhere. So same thing, when you work for Tai Lopez, not only do you see what he does and the way he thinks, but you also get like insider stuff. You're like, oh, so he's doing internet marketing. I see how he's selling some stuff. I see how he's growing a brand. I see all the psychology behind what he's doing. And if you're smart enough to understand that you don't know it all, because I tell everyone, I know a lot, but I don't know anything at the same time. It sounds weird, but I know a lot.
You don't know.
Exactly. I know nothing, but I know a lot as well.
Yep.
And my general rule of thumb is I will never argue with someone that makes more money than me. General rule of thumb. At the same time, I see people that are way broker than me on the topic of like, hey, don't spend $5 at Starbucks. People are like, you're an idiot. Watch you go broke. I'm like, listen, I'm 100 times richer than these people, and
You're
they're arguing
probably
with me.
broke. The person reaching out to you is probably broke.
100%. So that's what's frustrating. So the way I look at it, if someone's richer than me, I will never give them financial advice. I will never tell them what to do. I will never argue with them. If they say something, I'm like, cool, let me shut up, do my research on it. I could disagree with them 100%,
Yeah.
but there's no point in me arguing with them. You know, so like that's the way I look at it. Anytime someone makes more money than me or it has what I have, I'm gonna pay attention to them and like look at them and study them. In the same way I did Ty Lopez, because that's what kind of got me out of my own struggle, you know?
Yeah, and I like what you said about the proximity. Champ, a friend of the pod, somebody I had on, made a comment that I still to this day use and love, where he was like, you're less than 20 mutual people away from a person that can make you $1 million.
Facts. I wouldn't even argue that it's less.
Yeah, it could be 10, 15, but when you think about it that way, because I love all these different ways to make yourself think about things, like reprogramming your brain from the traditional things. And he said that to me, and I had to pause, and I was like, wait, say that again for me. You're less than 20 mutual people away from somebody who can make you a millionaire.
Yeah. Facts.
I mean, how powerful
I
is
genuinely think it's less. Like, 7 degrees of separation?
Yep.
So theoretically, if that's accurate, then you're 7 people away from the person that's going to make you a millionaire.
Yeah, and it's all about the habits and like the ways that they go about things and like the mindset. And it's funny, we keep going back and back, but the offensive mindset is really, at least in my opinion, the underlying rule of like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
The people that are playing defense are down here, and nothing wrong with that. They might love life and they might enjoy it, and the security's great. All these people up here are just constantly playing offense.
They're playing offense. Right.
And
it's like trying to win a basketball game without trying to score. You could put, I don't know, the best basketball players of all time. But if you told them they could only play defense and they could play against us 3. We go 3-on-3. Me, you, and him against LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. We would win if they weren't allowed to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, because we get lucky. One shot.
One shot is all it takes.
One shot.
They could, for an hour straight, they could hold us to 0. But on minute 47, we score a bucket, we win. And the same applies to life. Like, unless you're playing offense, you're going to lose the fight, right? Same thing, you're a boxer. You're just playing defense. I don't care if you're Mayweather. If I got in a fight with Mayweather and he's not allowed to punch me back, I'm winning that fight.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He might survive 11 rounds in a boxing ring. I think he'd actually survive 12. But let's say 1 year long, no time limit boxing match. Yeah. Eventually he'd lose.
Yeah, eventually he'd lose.
So that's the way I look at it. The same applies for life. You have to play offense.
So what would you tell the person watching right now who is on the fence about spending the $2,000 they have in their bank account on a course or on a mentorship or on a mastermind? And it doesn't have to be those specific things, but essentially the message is, what would you tell somebody who is on defense right now and wants to flip to offense?
You're already broke. What the fuck is your $2,000 going to do? And I hate to sound like an asshole, but if you have $2,000, you're broke. If you have $5,000, you're broke, right? People always ask me, Rene, how do I invest $10,000? And my answer is always the same. It's like, it depends on how you got the $10,000. So if you have a social media marketing agency and you got the $10,000 from that, double down on your agency. Because you can make more money. You have the process of being able to make more money. But let's say you saved that $10,000. You spent the past 5 years of your life saving that money. No investment will make you rich. Yep. You have to take that money and invest it in yourself. Learn a skill, right? The first thing, anytime you have money, the first thing you need to do is be investing into yourself so you can learn a skill. Because it doesn't matter what you have. You could have 0, you could have $50,000. You're broke if you didn't make that through like your own business or your own active income.
Yeah.
You know, if you made the money yourself, like if you have the ability to make $30,000 a month, $20,000 a month, you can invest that into like real estate. You can invest it into stocks, cryptocurrency, whatever you want. But if you had saved that money from a job, it's useless. You're broke. So to the person that's like, hey, I have $2,000, I'm scared to invest it, you're broke. If you never invest it, you're going to stay broke no matter what. What, you're going to wait another year, save another $3,000? You're still broke.
Yeah.
You know, you never get out until the only way to get out is by playing offense, getting those numbers up.
Yep.
You know, someone that's making I think the sweet spot's like $15,000 a month at least. If you're making 15 grand a month, now you have money to play with. Now you have money that you can invest into different things and then eventually get rich. But anything before that, you're not making enough to invest into anything.
Let's take a quick second from the episode to talk about our sponsor, Micromedia. Micromedia is responsible for all the editing of this podcast and all of our short form content for this podcast as well. Micromedia and the team is amazing to work with, and they're responsible for making our podcast look amazing. They help us distribute all of the short form all over our social media platforms to reach as many people as possible. If you're looking for someone to edit your podcast, do short form for your podcasts, or just short form in general, Micromedia is the number one option on the market right now. Feel free to reach out to us or just reach out to Micromedia on socials or online. But they are responsible for all of this amazing work and have been nothing but great to work with. Now back to the episode.
Yeah, and I like to have you say that directly to the audience, because I can say personally, I was in that same boat. We talked about these businesses that I had. One of the parts was teaching people how to use the software.
Right.
I paid somebody $800 to show me how to use it. Mm-hmm. Spending that $800 was like a 3-month decision that I was making. I was like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't learn it? That $800 made me 100x what I spent on that $800. 100x.
Yeah.
That is the number that I made on that $800 spent. And from then on out, I was like, all right, like I get it now. Like you gotta invest in yourself. You gotta learn these skills. You gotta go do these things. But it's hard when you work hard in these, like, let's say you're a sales rep on Lincoln Road, or you're in a 9-to-5 that you hate. If you did save up that $3-4 grand, it's a lot. You're emotionally tied to that money now.
Fair, but I also think you got to do your research.
Yeah.
So here's a great example. I'm gonna sound like a dickhead, but whatever. Recently, there was a lady that got scammed. Mm-hmm. And she got scammed. This is how she got scammed. She saw me on TikTok. She followed me. There was a fake account of me that DM'd her and says, hey, I have a way to double your money through Bitcoin. Send me $500, I'll double it. And this lady sent this person $500. And then someone told me, like, yo, this lady got scammed. I'm like, well, what the fuck you want me to do? It's her fault. Like, anytime you're investing your money, whether it's a course, this, that, do your research on the person.
Yep.
Because a lot of the times, the reason that like anyone that sells education, there's always a bad rep for them, is because the industry is so muddled by fakers or people that don't actually do it. Yep. So I tell everyone, do your research. Google it, look for podcasts with the person, look for articles about the person, go on someone's social media and scroll all the way down. You know, like I hate these guys with like 3 Instagram posts and $90,000 followers. It's like, yo, did you build your audience like that? You posted 3 pictures, you got 90,000 followers? Did you get a shout out from Kylie Jenner or something? Like, what happened here?
Yeah.
You know, so typically you can tell who's built their audience organically, who's legit, who's not. Like, people say, oh, how do I know you're legit? I'm like, you can literally scroll on my Instagram.
Just watch all your videos.
Not even watch all my videos. You can scroll all the way down to see when I was poor.
Yeah.
You see the entire journey. It's documented, right? Twitter, you have my tweets of me tweeting saying, hey, my bed is on the floor. I don't know where to stay. I'm depressed. Funny enough, I posted this video of this penthouse. I was like, hey, just got one of the biggest penthouses in Miami. And someone scrolled down on my page all the way down to 2014. He did, like, I don't know why he would do that, but shout out to this guy. And retweeted a picture of me posting something like, yo, I'm sitting on my roof eating In-N-Out depressed. Retweeted it, and they're like, yo, bro, I just saw your penthouse thing. This is sick. So, like, that type of research is what you need to do whenever you're investing into something. Anything, right? Like, if you invest in a course and you want to buy a course from someone, it doesn't matter how persuasive they are, go do your research on them. Go look them up. It's not that hard to find out if they're legit or not. You know, you look up any person, you see enough information. If they've been around, they built it the correct way, regardless of who they are, they're going to have a foundation. And you're not going to get scammed by that. But the second that you find, like, sketchiness, oh, this person doesn't have a page, or this person has only been around for like 3 months, that's a red flag in itself.
Yeah.
So that's my best advice to someone. Do your research, but also you're broke already. You have to, your only shot is to invest it.
Yeah.
You have two options when you have $2,000 that you save from a job. You invest it into something to learn how to get out, or you give up on that dream and you just stay at your job. Those are your two options.
Yeah, I think the more I interview people and talk, in my opinion, the number one currency for the next 5+ years is going to be authenticity.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of nefarious individuals who
Yep.
get lucky, make $100,000, and now they're a guru and
Yep.
they're going to teach everybody. But on the back end, they're really
Yep.
teaching it because they lost $100,000 already.
Yep.
Going on to the next 100x opportunity.
Yep.
So I think authenticity, individuals like yourself, who I can, like you said, I can go right now on camera and pull the receipts of all this stuff we're talking about.
Yep.
It's there. You didn't delete it. You didn't not post it. It's all.
I hate deleting stuff.
It's all there.
I hate deleting stuff. Yeah, I love having it there. It's almost like a journal for me. Because here's the thing. It's cool to see the stuff. Penthouse, cars, expensive vacations. It's cool to see it. But it all means nothing if you don't see where it came from.
Yep.
You know? Because it's like I hate when people just flex on people. It's like, cool, you're cool, but it doesn't do anything for the person. Like for me, I wish I had this sort of inspiration. A lot of the times when I was broke, I would look at people that were making money and be like, how do I become like that? But the ones I resonated with were the ones that showed their entire journey.
Yep.
I love the journey for anyone. Any person that is transparent, that shows the journey, that's where like the beautiful part of this entire thing is. So I try to like go hard on that. Like my Instagram post, I'm not sure if you saw it. I want to show you though.
Yeah.
Because I'm proud of this.
Hell yeah.
Check this out. I posted this penthouse, but the very last slide of it, and maybe I'll send it to you, you could put it up after. I posted where I came from.
Dude.
And what 10 years looks like.
Amazing.
So I loved, here, I'll show you. Oh. I love that. Like that's
authenticity.
That's that shit, bro. That's that shit.
That's
yeah.
authenticity. And that's the reason why you will continue doing what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I will hopefully interview you multiple more times over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'll have people who I've interviewed who probably will never come back on the show because their time has come. They didn't continue on. They weren't authentic.
Drake has a bar, and I was like, this is a bar. He said something like, "Oh, we'll see who's around a decade from now."
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will pop up, but they'll disappear. You know, like and that's how you know like they didn't build on a solid foundation. I really hope for this podcast at least, you leave these first episodes, even if they're bad, even if they're shitty, leave the first episodes up.
100%.
Because when you look back 5-6 years from now, and let's say the podcast is getting millions of views per episode, and you have crazy quality, you have crazy guests, you look back, you're like, damn, I started here. It's a great feeling. My wife will actually she'll be like, oh man, she'll hate getting me in my feelings, because like I said, I'm an emotional guy. So the second she'll bring up something like old, and I start scrolling back on my Instagram, I'm like, man, I'll get sucked into a rabbit hole for 2 hours, just like, yo, that's crazy. Like my life really used to be like that. And like it's changed so drastically. So I'm a big guy that like loves to reminisce on all that old stuff.
Dude, I think that's important. One, I think it builds character, and two, you should be proud of what you built. Like,
facts.
I mean, look, we're sitting in this insane penthouse right now in Miami. 10 years back, you knew this was going to happen and knew it was coming, but probably in the moment still couldn't have imagined it would be at this scale.
So I always think like, oh, I want a penthouse. You don't realize how much shit actually costs.
Yeah.
Because for me, back in the day, I was like, all right, I need to make 15 grand a month. I could live the life of my dreams, right? Like I'm out of this place. Because my mom's mortgage is like $1,100, $1,400. So I'm like, if I make 15,000, I'm getting whatever place I want.
Whatever you want.
Then you actually look, and like there's places in Miami that are like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. I have a friend, he pays $100 grand a month for his house. And you realize like, okay, maybe it's not as cheap. So, and you don't realize what this actually looks like. Because you can imagine looking at pictures, but living here, waking up to it, it's completely different.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think like, it's awesome that you did this for yourself, because it's kind of like a trophy of like all this hardship, everything you went through, like all of this grind is the reason why you get to wake up and have this amazing penthouse and view of Miami and live this life and have a wife and all of this amazing stuff. And I mean, if you're listening to this, I can't see how you wouldn't be motivated or you
For
wouldn't
sure.
be like fired up to go get off your ass.
Well, I think one of the best things about making money, and I'm learning it more as I like get older. Kind of red pill. I know you're not a big red pill guy, but this is kind of red pill. I think it's being able to take care of your family. I think as a man, like
Yeah, but I don't think that's red pill too far. I think that's really important.
I think as a man, well, let me get more abrasive then. Don't worry, I got him in the
Poke the
chamber.
bear there.
I think as a man, if you do not strive to take care of your family, you're a pussy. I will go that far. Because I think one of the best feelings in the world is being able to like, because I don't understand guys that like see their wife struggling, see their kids struggling, and they're just like, I'm gonna crack a beer today and like watch TV. I could never do that. If I seen that, I was like, oh no, fuck that. I'm sitting in my office for 14 hours, I'm figuring this out. Because I think that's one of the best feelings as a guy is to be able to like look at my wife and see her happy. I'm like, oh, doing good. See my mom happy, see my little brother happy, see all of my people happy. I'm like, yo, and it's all on my back, you know? So it's like, I look at the pressure in my life and all the people that are dependent on me. I have employees, I have like 9 families, 11 families are dependent on me. But it's like a good fucking feeling.
100%.
Because now like when you move, right? Before I was a worthless kid, you know? I was like, there was no money attached to me. If I did something, there was no consequences except for myself. But now that I've built an empire, I hate that word, it sounds like weird, but like now that I've built an empire, quote unquote, there is so much weight on my shoulders, but to see all of those people happy because of something that you've been able to build, and when you do something, it directly impacts that many people, it's like a beautiful fucking feeling, you know? I feel like I'm walking around with a boulder on my back and I'm moving mountains. So I think as a guy, you should aspire for that. Like that's like the reward in itself. You know, the reward is not the money or the things you can get with the money, but the reward is like all of your people are good because of you. That's a great fucking feeling, bro.
Yeah, and I think it just shows more of like your character as a person, like the ability to take care of the people you love is, and I can agree with you, the best feeling you could probably ever have. And something like for me is the number one driver. Like my parents gave me this amazing life. They worked their asses off. They gave me this beautiful life. How could I not want to double that for my kids and my wife and my life? Like, and for people that can get complacent and kind of just sit around and, oh, my parents made money and I'm good. And not to say my parents are like that, but I wanted to give my kids, my wife, my family, my friends, anybody close to me that I love more than what I got. And I got a lot. So I want to give more because that's what I feel like is like, what else are we really working for? What am I grinding for?
Right.
Like, yeah, it's awesome to have a bunch of money and the nice car, but like, if you can look around, your kids are going to good schools, your kids are living a good life, your wife is really happy, your parents are taken care of.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you really want?
People always say that money doesn't buy happiness, because I agree with that. And it's one of like my big pet peeves, because I'll be on the internet and lifestyle marketing is a thing. I'll show what I have. I'm not fucking faking it. People be like, Airbnb. I'm like, no, I fucking live here. But I'll show what I have, and they're like, all that money won't buy you happiness. I'm like, I agree, money doesn't buy you happiness. But you know what money does buy you? Money buys you peace. Money buys you peace. You don't worry about the lights turning off. You don't worry about food. You don't worry about water. And not only does it buy you peace for yourself, it buys peace for your loved ones.
Yep.
My mom, my brother, they lost their jobs during the pandemic because they got furloughed, so they had no work, no one to pay any stuff, no one to pay the bills. So I had to pay their bills during the entire pandemic until they went back to work, you know? So when you can buy peace of mind for your family, for your wife, for your daughter, that's like the ultimate happiness for me, at least, you know?
Yeah, and I've always said the same thing. That's funny. I originally, before, I was like, people say money doesn't buy happiness, but when have you ever seen someone upset on a jet ski? That was something I used to say in high school. But I don't think money buys happiness. I think money creates happiness because of the fact that you don't have to worry about these struggles. So you can live life more freely.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about these certain, like when you think about all these problems and the root of all these issues that people have, it's usually finance.
Well, yeah, so here's a real thing. You know, poor people live 10 years, rich people live 10 years longer than poor people. It's number one. Money literally makes you live longer.
Yeah.
Number two, 50% of marriages end in divorce, but a majority of divorces are because of financial issues.
Yep.
So you could say divorce, financial issue. What's another one? I forgot the number exactly, but it was like something crazy, like 80% of people can't afford a $500 emergency. That's like living your life with a gun pointed to your head.
Literally.
Literally. Think about it. If you can't afford a $500 emergency, if your car breaks down and the repairs are $600, and because you have to do $600 for your car and you can't afford it, now you lose your job because you can't go to work. Because you lose your job, you can't pay the rent, you get evicted from your house, and now let's say you have kids, your kids are homeless. It's literally like walking around with a gun to your head. Have you ever seen someone happy walking around with a gun to their head? No.
No.
So that's like the main thing. It's like, yeah, money might not buy you happiness, but if you spend it correctly and you remove the stress from your life, money should be a tool to remove stress.
Yep. Make
Any
life
sort of
easier.
stress. Make life easier. Give you peace. And I think that's what people misunderstand.
Yeah, no, and I think that's spot on. You go through the Tai Lopez thing, you learn a bunch, you soak it all in.
Mm-hmm.
At 24, your company makes its first $1 million.
Yeah.
What was that? Like, how does that feel to know that you yourself were able to generate $1 million?
You know what's crazy? It happens really, really fast. So you don't really realize how like, if we were to go timeline, it literally went from like, I had a 9-to-5 job. I'm broke. I'm not making any money. I have a 9-to-5 job, making good money because I was doing sales for Thai. So I'm making 80, 90 grand a year. But you go from making 80, 90 grand a year, you start your own business. Business is slow at first. First year of my business, I barely made any money. I think it was like $6,000 that I made. But then next year, $9,000. But then the third year, it happens fast. I find a client for my social media marketing agency. The next month I find another one, and the next month I find another one. So right off the bat, I was making like $7,500, about 80 grand a year with my business. I leave Ties to focus solely on my business. And that year we went from making like $9,000 a year to $400,000 a year. And it happened like that. And because it's happening so fast and you're scaling so fast, before you know it, you hit $1 million right after that. So it's a compressed amount of time. It's not like I started my business in 2017 and then 2019 I made my first $1 million. No, it's like 2016, 2017 I made no money. 2018 I made a good amount of money. In 2019 I hit $1 million like that. It just happened so fast. So before you know it, you're like, holy shit, I'm at $1 million. It's crazy. I have my tax return. I have it like framed because it's crazy to look at it. It says like it has the money because people can fake everything. They can't fake a fucking tax return.
Yep.
They can't fake that. So I didn't make $1 million. It was a bluff. I'm a liar on social media. I said I made $1 million. I actually made $970,000.
Oh shit! All right.
But I was like, fuck it. A millionaire's like saying you're a millionaire sounds so much better than like if I go on social media. Hey guys, I make 6 figures. It's like they assume it's 100 grand.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, it's 30 grand. It's okay. No one's
So
gonna
if someone
know.
wants to pocket watch you for 30 grand,
Yeah.
that's their problem.
But it just happens so fast that you don't really know what's happening until you step back.
Yeah.
Because it never really hit me until I turned like 26. Right. So I made my first $1 million at 24. Everything's changing in my life so fast. Right. I get my first like nice place. I get a penthouse, move to Hollywood Hills, pick up a couple like exotic cars. I got a BMW i8. I had a Maserati. So I'm picking up all these cars. I'm traveling. I went to Bali. I went to Europe. I like start doing this traveling. I'm getting different penthouses. You're not taking time to like step back and you're like process. Holy fuck, I made $1 million.
Yeah.
You're just thinking, I'm making a fuckload of money. Let me go and do whatever I want. Travel, live a good life. So then when I start slowing down, I'm like 25, 26. I take a step back after partying for 2 years straight. After going crazy, like the hedonistic stuff, my Justin Bieber phase. You take a step back after like 2 years burnt out as fuck. And I'm kind of like, yo, I made $1 million at 24. It hit me like 2 years later. And I'm like, wow. And like, I've really been making money for this long, which is insane to think about. But yeah, man, it's because it happens so fast, you don't realize it's happening until you take a step back and you're like, wow, that's crazy. $1 million is a lot of money. It's no joke.
What do you think was the biggest catalyst that took you from 80 grand or 400 grand in that year to $1 million the next year? Like, what was the What changed from one year to the next?
It's realizing that money is abundant. A lot of people have this thought process of like, there's no way that there's that much money in the world. They always sit there and they're like, oh, there's no way that there's $1 million that I can make $1 million in a month. There's no way, it's impossible. But then when you start to like look at the world, right? You start to like analyze it. You start to look at like the United States GDP, how much money is switching hands, right? So here's a great example. We break down anything like economy-wise. You bought this camera. This camera was $3,000, right? Probably cost them, I don't know, $900 to make it. So they made $2,100. They bought the parts from somewhere, probably Asia, probably China. I don't know. I'm guessing. So they bought the parts. So they paid $900. Oh no, they paid $500 for the parts, $400 to get it made, manufacturing. So all that money is just bouncing in different directions. Right now, this company in China gets $500. They pay their workers whatever amount. So everything that went into that camera, and that's actually not true because there's probably chips in there. There's probably batteries in there, a bunch of different parts, right? So all of that that went into this camera has paid out a bunch of people. And then you're going to take a step further. This camera, he used, I don't know if it's yours or his. His. Let's say he gets paid $500 a shoot. Now this camera is now producing $500 for him, right? And the content he shoots, let's say he shoots content for me and it's an ad for social media or an ad for a product. I put it, that ad that I paid $500 for has now made $10,000, right? And then the cycle continues because now this $10,000 that I made, let's say it's a physical product, my supplement company, right? Let's say 40% of that, $4,000 of that was went to the manufacturing. So the factory workers, the manufacturing, right? It's like this endless cycle of how money connects. You bought that camera or he bought that camera, and it paid a supplement factory worker from him buying this camera. And to go even further than that, someone in China assembled the camera or found the raw materials, and it ended up leading to someone at a supplement company getting paid.
It's crazy.
So when you look at like the fact that how much money was exchanged during that back and forth.
Just on this one camera.
Just on this one camera. Because of this one camera. Like the chain of events from this one camera. You realize, holy fuck, there's like literally infinite money.
Yeah.
It's literally infinite. Because that camera, some people buy that camera and just take pictures, they don't make money out of it. But he's found a way to monetize that camera.
Yep.
You know, so that camera that was $2,000, for some person it might be a waste of money, right? But for him, it's an investment because now he makes more money from that.
Yep.
So when you start to look at it like that, that camera is worthless to the average person. You put it in his hands, it makes $500. Money's fake. Like, that's fucking fake, bro. The fact that you could pick that up and make money with that, it's fucking fake. So you start to realize that. You're like, in the beginning, you're kind of like, oh, there's no way that this is gonna last. There's no way that making money is this easy.
Yeah.
But then the second you start to do it more and more, you're like, holy fuck, there's literally just infinite money. It's infinite.
I had a similar realization in high school when, like, my parents bought a house 25 years ago. Great investment for them in the future, seeing here. And in high school, Zillow, the app came out. So I was able to look in my neighborhood and see the price of all the houses. And I'm looking at the price of all the houses and I'm like, whoa, there's so many rich people. Like, and then I'm like, wait, but there's 50 neighborhoods in Miami that are just like this. And then it really hit home when I got in my car and I drove to Hollywood. I drove from Hollywood on the beach, from Hollywood all the way to Oceans and First. All those condos from Hollywood to Oceans and First are filled. They're all filled with people. Hundreds and hundreds of units at 5, 6, 7, 800,000 a unit. In that moment, I was like, oh my God, like there is so much money in the world. You got to go get it. Like you got to go out and get it. It's there for you.
Yeah. And you want to know like the craziest part about it? This another way to break it down. If you ever feel like money's hard to make, think about it like this. 300 million people in the United States, right? And let's say only half of them are adults. 150 million people in the United States. If it's a $1 product, all you have to do is sell it to less than 1% of the people in the United States and you make $1 million. And how often do you see a $1 product? Never.
Never.
But also, how many people can afford a $1 product?
Everyone.
Almost
everyone.
Everyone.
Pretty much.
In the United States, everyone can afford
$1.
a $1 product. Now, let's say it's a $10 product. You've probably heard this before. You only need to sell to 100,000 people. Out of 150 million, bro.
Yeah.
100,000 people, $10 is $1 million. So $1 million is literally bare minimum. It's literally nothing. It's literally nothing. You're barely like, it's a drop of a needle, or I don't know whatever.
A needle in the haystack.
Needle in a haystack, something like that. Yeah,
one of those.
It's a drop in the ocean. That's the quote. Yeah, $1 million. It's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
Because think about that. Like, you want to know why Elon Musk is the richest man in the world? He found a way to sell a $50,000 product to millions of people. Because if you look at the Tesla, how many Teslas are on the road? Maybe it's not 1 million, maybe like 500,000. But it's $50,000 like average.
Yeah, the Y was the #1 selling car in the United States officially today. Came out. The Tesla
crazy.
Y, #1 selling car in the.
Do you know how many units they did?
No, but it's got to be millions.
This guy is the richest person in the world. Can you look that up?
How many? Yeah, Tesla Y.
Because he found a way to sell a $50,000 product to millions of people. And that's why he's the richest person. Another one, Apple. Why is Apple the biggest company in the world? They have you on a subscription for $1,000 or whatever that iPhone costs, $1,500 a year. So it's $1,500 a year for across millions of people. So when you look at the biggest companies, all they do is find a way to sell a product, make it cost more, sell it across the entire board of people, right? $1 to 1 million people is not hard. For reference, my personal brand, we reach probably 3-4 million people a month. So that gives you an idea. If I could,
then you do the 1% rule.
Yeah,
1% of the people are pretty much guaranteed to buy from you.
It's less, but yeah, like just for reference, 4 million people see me
a month,
every single month. Yeah,
not a year,
not a year, a month. Yeah.
5 million Teslas.
Woo! 5 million. What's the math? Times 50 grand. I don't know if calculators go that high.
Yeah, you're gonna have to turn it sideways.
I don't know how that works.
That is wild.
5 million Teslas have been sold at 50 grand.
My dad's one of those customers.
My brother's one of those customers.
Got him.
I ordered a Cybertruck. 2.5 billion.
On one model.
No, that's all Teslas.
Oh, that's all Teslas. Okay.
So 2.5 billion. This is where we get complicated business, but you compress that against the short time span of Tesla being around. So let's say, when did Tesla become popular? Like 5 years?
5 years since it's been popular, probably less than 10 years as an actual car on the road.
500 million a year. On top of that, they have people buy the software and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they're paying monthly subscriptions for that, or is it a one-time fee for $2,000?
No, it's subscriptions.
So let's say, I don't know, can you look at what Tesla's revenue is?
Yearly revenue. It's got to be in the $10+ billion.
Well, no, if it's
2.5, yeah.
If it's 5 million cars Tesla sold, unless he did the math wrong.
Yeah. No.
Maybe I did the math wrong. It's 2.5 and E11. Remember that?
If you turn it sideways.
It doesn't do it.
No.
I don't know. But yeah, so the point is.
A shitload of money.
A shitload of money. But the strategy is always the same. So to answer your question, I know this is like a long, convoluted answer, but you said, what changed? I realized fucking money is infinite. It's literally out there. Money that didn't exist, it exists now. So a great example, one I always use, when people say, oh, someone has to be rich or someone has to be poor for someone else to be rich. It's cap. It's false.
That's not.
Think about it like this, right? Technology creates money.
Yep.
It literally creates money. And this is what I mean by that. Back in the day, before modern farming, and say what you want about agriculture and all the pesticides, I get it. But before modern farming, you grow little tiny apples this big to feed one person, and they're fucking starving. Oh, we're starving. We're not growing apples fast enough. Now they can grow fucking 10 times the apples, feed 10 times the people, sell 10 times as many apples. Because prior to this, we only grew, let's say you're a farm, we only grew 100 apples this season. You are capped at making, I don't know, $2 an apple, $200 a season, right? But you've created money because now you have technology. Oh, we made 10,000 apples. Now you instantly make
created more money.
$2 million. You create it's created out of the fucking sky. You know? So like that's the way I look at it. When you realize money is fake and it's abundant like that and it'll never run out, given that you live in a country like the United States where the economy, there's money constantly switching hands.
Yep.
There's consumers, there's jobs, there's production. Money's infinite. you're never gonna run out of money. And once you realize that, you'll never go broke.
There it is. So you want to buy the jet. It's vision board number one item. The supplement company is going to be the way you get to that jet, most likely.
Yeah.
Talk about the supplement company, what you're doing, and why you think that's going to be the $100 million exit that puts you on the jet.
Well, yeah, man. So I'm building a supplement company. The reason I did it, and I've talked about it a lot, when I just look at business from every angle, you want a product you can sell more than once. I built a pretty big company, did $25-30 million by itself, probably 25. But the issue with that is that product, you only have to buy one. You never have to buy any other ones. So with the supplement company, I think about it, I'm like, okay, you buy it once, you buy it again, you continue to buy it, boom, 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 boom. And because of that, you have we sell it for like $40 a bottle, but some customers have spent $700.
Yep.
Because the goal of any business is to sell to as many people as possible and have the price of the product as high as possible. So Apple's the most valuable company in the world. Last time I checked, at least, I don't know if it still is.
Yeah.
Because it has people on a $1,000 a year subscription. Every single one of its customers, every year, $1,000 here, boom, 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 boom. And you can imagine, let's say, I don't know, 1 million people have iPhones. It's probably way more than that. It's probably let's say 10 million people have iPhones. It's still probably higher than that. Yeah. 20, I'm guessing 30 million people have iPhones. 10%.
Jake's on research duty
10% of the United States has iPhones. 10 million people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 30 million people. Imagine that, 1,000.
124.7 million.
So, but I doubt that's the amount that gets a new one every single year. That's just people that have it. But 30 million people, 25%, they buy a new iPhone every single year. It's $1,000 a year, bro. They have a built-in money printer in there. So the same goes for my supplement company. I'm thinking, what can I sell to a lot of people? Easy to market, can sell to a lot of people that they will buy over and over and over again. And supplements fit that category, right? The other idea was software, which I'm probably going to launch soon as well.
Nice.
I'm just taking as many shots as possible to see kind of what works.
Might as well.
So because it kind of applies to that model, and the only hard part about supplements is the advertising, but I come from a marketing background already.
Yeah.
The hard part is what I'm good at, and the actual model fits how you scale. So I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, cool. Supplements also, because of the nature of the business, they don't cost that much. I think I get bottles manufactured for $3-4. They sell for $40. You have high margins. You have repeat customers. These are all good things when a business is going to get acquired, you know? So because of that, I'm like, cool. This is a great business model. This is a great business. It's something where my strength is the difficult part. Fuck it. Let me just go into this business. So that's kind of my approach on it. I think ultimately, if I hit that $100 million mark with that's kind of what it's going to be. But yeah, I'd be open. Whatever's going to get me the jet. At the end of the day, whatever's going to get me the jet. If I have to trade the company for the jet, I'm taking the jet because that's just what I want. You know? Because that's the next part. Because then it's going to be sick. I can already see it in my head. 5 years from now, I'm 32, 33 years old. Buy the jet, post it on my Instagram, and then I'll clip this podcast and I'll be like, yo, I really want the jet. And I'll show me breaking it down. And then, like I said, 5 years from now, I'll post a picture, just got my jet. But then I'll post at the very end a clip of this podcast where I'm talking about buying the jet. You know, and what the fuck are they gonna say now?
Hopefully, I'm on that jet with you, and we can cheers the champagne and have a good laugh.
We'll do a podcast on there.
Podcast on the jet.
Be a good one, man.
Podcast in the air.
Yeah.
Now you can put Starlink on all. Thanks to Elon Musk, you can put Starlink on all your jets and get Wi-Fi. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just awesome to see how you've been able to go from this tough upbringing to just every piece seems like a piece on the puzzle.
Yeah.
You learn Tai Lopez, you see the way the infrastructure is built, you see kind of that selling education business from that perspective. You take that and create your first agency. You learn all of the marketing aspects, learn what it is to make money, take that, create your next business. And then you go create the supplement business now. And we're looking at this. It's funny, 100,000. Then it's like, oh shit, I made $1 million. Then it's like, oh shit, I made 10 million. It's like, now we're looking at, well, what's going to make you $100 million?
Yep, exactly.
And like you said, money's infinite. It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
You just need to put yourself in a position to capitalize on that fact.
You have to find a way to capture them. That's literally all business is. It's capturing the money because the money's flowing, right? Like the money's flowing throughout
Going to somebody.
It's just flowing around. It's floating around us. Literally, think about it. This building right here, whoever owns this entire building, they have money, a bunch of money floating to them that people are going to jobs for. They have businesses, and every month they're coughing up to whoever owns this building. Right?
I mean, we almost got Jake a job in the lobby waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly. So the money is flowing, the money is being exchanged. You just have to find a way to insert yourself into that cash, into that flow of money. And however, if you can insert yourself into the flow of money and capture some of that for yourself, that's essentially all business is, you know?
So we've talked through the whole journey here.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk with you about, because it's interesting. You've had a video go very viral. You said you've tried to be more spiritual. You've tried certain things.
Yeah.
You have like probably the biggest ayahuasca vlog video.
It's like the third.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll give it top 5, which
Top 5,
is
yeah, I'll
great.
take that.
What are your thoughts on that? How much did that play into the person you are? Is it like a big part of like the success, or is it just kind of a piece of the journey?
It's softened me up because I think one thing about making a lot of money at a young age, you start to feel a little bit invincible. You see it all the time with these kids in Miami now that are making a lot of money.
Yeah.
They get a little they puff their chest a little bit, right? Because they're starting to make a little money. And even people that aren't kids, like people that just make money in general, they puff their chest a little bit because they think that like they're unstoppable, right? But then I think when I did ayahuasca, it helped me see everything in the grand scheme of things, right? I can make $10 million. It's not shit. There's people that are making hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of them too, right? It's not just one guy that's better than me. It's a million people are better than me, you know? So I look at that in the grand scheme of things. I'm like, damn, I ain't shit, you know? And on top of that, I feel like before you feel like you're invincible. You're like, I'm making so much money. It's impossible. This is never gonna end. And then you reflect, you're like, I could die tomorrow. And if I die, it all ends. It comes to like a screeching halt.
Yep.
All your momentum gone. You fade away. You fade into oblivion. No one ever remembers you. Your family might, but then eventually they die. They don't remember you either. And you're gone forever. You literally just disappear for eternity. So when you think about that, you're like, yo, I ain't shit. If I die, I disappear for eternity. And it could happen at any point, any given point. It almost put the fear of God into me. Because I realized like how small I really am as a human being. And for all the talk of me saying like, yo, I have a boulder on my back, I'm moving mountains, I have 9 families that rely on me, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, even that in the grand scheme of things is nothing. And it could all disappear like that. So I think when I did ayahuasca, it put things in perspective. And I can't really explain like how it felt, but all I know for the first time in like 5 years, or maybe since I started making money, I felt like vulnerable. I felt fear in my life. And then it wasn't even in a bad way. It was just more like a fear of like, fuck, man, what am I doing? So, and I think because of that, like I kind of changed my life around a little bit. I got married, have a daughter on the way, so that's beautiful.
Congratulations.
I'm really focused on my business. I'm a lot less abrasive, confrontational. I used to be all about that stuff, right? I used to be a toxic human being. And I don't want to say toxic because I never was like bad in a way, but I used to be like a person that enjoyed drama, but now I've just like kind of like pushed it all my life and I have a clearer plan for the future and what I want.
I love it.
Yeah.
This has been an amazing conversation.
Love it, bro.
I love to end every podcast that I do. This is for anybody listening that wants to come in person. You do get a gift if you do come on the show in person.
Love it.
So I do have a gift for you.
did
I always
it
like
right.
supporting my friends.
yeah.
This is my best friend's cigar company, El Mago
love it.
Cigars.
I love it. I love it.
He started this
Yeah.
brand. It's got an amazing story behind it. I hope you enjoy them.
Fire. I appreciate
think
it, brother.
It's perfect for Miami. It's Miami Art Deco colors, and off camera I'll give you the whole background because there's a lot.
Believe it or not, I actually, we can set this up. I have my humidor in my office, so I can set these up in there.
I love it.
But yeah, this is
love it.
amazing, bro. Thank you, man.
Dude, for sure.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. This has been an amazing conversation. I know I'm more pumped up to go about my day and get after it tomorrow. And it's funny, like the podcast has been a cool opportunity for me because I get to meet and talk with people that have consumed your content.
By the way, before we go, I do appreciate you doing your research. This guy is super creepy, but I love it, bro. Like, it's like, it's amazing because it's like, damn, you take this shit seriously.
Yeah.
Because you didn't ask the generic questions, you went hard. So I appreciate the effort. I think this podcast is gonna do real well, man.
Dude, thank you so much. And like, look, you're successful, you're busy, you have a life, a wife, you've got a bunch of stuff going on. If you're willing to carve out an hour and a half, 2 hours of your day for me, the least I could do is show up prepared.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
Give it my 100% and make it quality.
Fire.
Well,
Fire.
brother, I cannot wait to continue to watch your story.
Yeah.
I always say it to the people, like, now I actually know you as a person. So when I see you post, when I see you succeed, it's that much better for me.
For sure.
So thank you again for the opportunity.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man.